Hello students, welcome to NCERT Solutions by Vedantu. I am Ms. Gopika, your own biology master teacher. So yesterday's class, we have understood evolution part 1. Today we are going to continue with the second part of evolution. Yesterday the last topic that we stopped was analogous and homologous, right? So we will continue from there. So here there are few examples that I wanted to mention here, which I could not do yesterday. So I thought, okay, see students, anatomically similar, not anatomically similar structures, though they perform similar functions. Who did they talk about? They spoke about wings of butterfly and birds, even though they are made of different things. Okay, made up of different things, their function is the same. Yes or no? Function is the same. Both are going to fly, both are going to be used for flying. Okay, hence analogous structures are a result of convergent evolution, different structures evolving for the same function and hence having similarities. So they are going to come together, right? They were like, what does convergent mean? They are at far distance because they are made up of different things, but they're all coming to a common point of doing the same function. Correct. So this is called as convergent evolution. That one was divergent evolution. That one means what? Homologous was divergent evolution because all of them had, what to tell, same forearms. Okay, same forearms. Be it cheetah had same forearms. Even who is that? Your humans had same forearms. Bats had same forearm. Dolphin, whale had same forearm. But they're all going to do different functions. So this is going to be divergent. Okay, this is going to be divergent. This is going to be convergent. This is going to be convergent. Now look here. Other examples of analogy are the eyes of octopus and mammals or flippers of penguins and dolphins. One can say that it is a similar habitat that has resulted in the selection of similar adaptive features in different groups of organisms but towards the same function. Sweet potato and potato, see, one is a root modification, one is a stem modification, but both of them are used for the same thing, to provide the starch that is required. Okay, so this is analogous and homologous. So if you want, I will write here for all of you. See, first you go with homologous. Okay, homologous. Another one is analogous. And students, there's a big surprise coming in the month of October, especially for all our Karnataka students. Okay, so stay tuned and we will keep you informed about the surprise. Okay, homologous students, what is going to happen? Common ancestors. Common ancestors are there. That's why the structural similarity is there. Okay, this is going to be different or not similar ancestors. Okay, it's not going to be common. I think not common we can write because different becomes a different word. Not common. Not common. Okay, here they are going to be anatomically similar or structurally also. You can tell anatomically similar, or you can tell structurally similar. Okay, similar. And here you can tell anatomically dissimilar. Yes or no? They're not similar, right? They're not similar. Anatomically dissimilar. Here, function. Okay, you talk about the function. Here the function is different. Okay, structurally same, function is different. Okay, function is different. Here function is same. Function is same. Function is same. Now examples, some of the examples that you can remember here is bougainvillea. Okay, bougainvillea and cucurbitaceae. Okay, cucurbitaceae, both are extensions. Okay, one is going to use for climbing, one is going to use it for protection. One is going to modify to thorn and one is going to become a climber. Here example from plants, you can remember potato and sweet potato. Okay, sweet potato, both, one is root modification, one is stem modification, but both of them have starch. Okay, both of them have starch itself as the food content. Then here one more example you can think, forelimbs of, okay, forelimbs of humans, cheetah, etc. Here you can remember wings of birds and butterflies. Okay, butterflies. Yes. So this is your homologous and analogous. Now we are going to continue. Okay. In the same line of argument, similarities in proteins and genes performing a given function among diverse organisms gives clues to common ancestors. So they're telling that even though you're telling about analogous and homologous, don't you think the proteins and genes are also same? That may be indicating that we have common ancestors. Yes or no, students? Now the central dogma is going to be same for all of it, right? DNA to mRNA, mRNA to protein. Yes, mRNA to protein. So many organisms go through the same cycle. So it could be that, we are all having the common ancestors. So this is one statement that they have told. These biochemical, see, organisms gives the clue of common ancestors. Okay, common ancestors. These biochemical similarities point to the same shared ancestors as structural similarities among diverse organisms. Man has bred selected plants and animals for agriculture, horticulture, sports, or security. Man has domesticated many wild animals and crops. This intensified breeding program has created breeds. Now, students, all of you would have seen the English Retriever is there, mix of which dog is that, students? Pomeranian and some Indian breed would be there, or mix of German Shepherd and some other dog. So like people have been making breeds of not just dogs. I'm just giving the very generalized example, but haven't you seen the purple cabbage? Okay, we try to make tomato using biotechnology. All these techniques where we breed, we intercross, we do cross hybridization, we do cross pollination. All of this, if man is able to do, then why don't nature also do? I had mentioned yesterday to all of you, when who was that, Alfred Wallace and Darwin was having a discussion. People were like, if man is able to do artificial hybridization, if man is able to do breeding program where they are forming two breeds which are helpful for them, don't you think even nature would have done it? So breeding program has created breeds that differ from other breeds, example dogs, but still are of the same group. It is argued that if within hundreds of years man would create new breeds, could not nature have done it? So understood the question, that if man could have done it, why can't nature do it? Okay, nature would have also been doing it for millions of years. Okay, that is the argument that they have kept forward. Another interesting observation supporting evolution by natural selection comes from England. In a collection of moths made in 1950s, that is before industrialization set in, it was observed that there were more white-winged moth on the trees than dark-winged or melanized moths. However, in the collection carried out from the same area but after industrialization in 1920, so first time they did an investigation in 1850, and the second categorization they did was in 1920. Okay, 1850, 1920. So this was before industrialization. Okay, like before Jesus, we let them, so like that, before industrialization, and this was after industrialization. Okay, this was after industrialization. Now what happened? They noticed, I'll tell you the further thing. Okay, look here, students, these are the dark winged moth. Okay, dark winged. These are the white moths. White or the light winged moth. Now when you see here, obviously this is coloration. You cannot get the exact, what to tell, the color exactly. But if you look here, if you look here, you will notice that the trees were more brown in color. Okay, you might be like, ma'am, dark winged moth won't be seen, but just understand that these are not the exact colorations. Okay, so if we assume, let's say these were how the trees looked. Okay, these were how the trees looked, and the white-winged moths were like this present. The predator couldn't have identified them at a very larger scale. But imagine there is moth like this. Okay, again, you people might argue, ma'am, this is not visible for us. Okay, like this. Okay, so here what they were trying to say is, before industrialization, when the trees were all not so brown in color, okay, not so brown in color, they were like, lightish color, they were lightish color, the light winged or the white moths were more in number. Okay, this was more during, that is before industrialization, before industrialization. Okay, before industrialization, this fellow was more. White wing moth. Now, after industrialization, this is after case. After industrialization, what exactly happened, students? White became very, very, very less. Simple reason. If the trees were completely black, okay, this is my phone. Now on this phone, let's say I keep something black object, obviously you will not be able to identify so fast. But if I'm keeping something on this side, okay, this side which is dark, definitely you will be able to identify. That same thing happened. Okay, the trees have got, completely polluted because of the industrial smoke, and that industrial smoke led to the growth of more dark winged moth because predators were not able to identify them. Okay, this was one of the experiment that they did. This is also called natural selection in one way, because the moth which was able to survive during those times are the ones who are naturally selected. So before industrialization it was the white one, after industrialization it was the dark one. So the explanation put forth for this observation was that the predators will spot a moth against a contrasting background. Yes or no? During post-industrialization period, the tree trunks became dark due to industrial smoke and soot. Under this condition, the white-winged moth did not survive due to the predators, and dark-winged moth or the melanized moth survived. Before industrialization set in, thick growth of almost white colored lichens covered the trees. Okay, in that background, the white winged moth survived, but the dark winged moth were picked up out of the predators. One second, students. Okay, now, but the dark colored moth were picked up by the predators. Okay, picked out by the predators. Do you know that lichens can be used as industrial pollution indicator? They will not grow in areas that are polluted. Hence, moth were able to camouflage themselves and hide in the background. So students, now I'll tell you the entire story with the help of a diagram. Okay, let's just split this into two halves. Okay, almost a half. Oh my god, very bad halves. I don't think here line, okay, here we do not have those lines or anything, students, so we just adjust. Okay, better. So here we are going to write about industrialization. Okay, industrialization. Now here what happened, let's say this is the tree. Okay, these were the trees that were there present before. Okay, obviously no pollution, nothing is there, the trees are beautiful. Okay, the branches are not that brown or darkish, they're all in the medium shades. Okay, now after industrialization they've become brown. Okay, the leaves also has become very dark. Okay, this is what happened. So here let's say 1850 and 1920. So this is before industrialization. Okay, this is after industrialization. Okay, after industrialization. Here what happened, students? Here what happened? The white winged moth that they're talking about, okay, the white winged moth were able to survive here because of the fact that these were not visible by the predators. Okay, but the dark winged moth was more visibly seen on this one. So what happened, the predators used to kill these moths. Okay, predators used to kill or attack these moths, so automatically the white winged moth kept increasing. Now as the situation changed, okay, situation changed, this is the white winged moth, okay, which was surviving before industrialization, and these were the dark winged moth. Okay, these were the dark winged moth. Obviously, the predators could spot the white-winged moth faster and they were damaging this white-winged moth. So automatically this population increased. Okay. Now, this is a kind of natural selection. Why? Because here the white-winged moth survived depending on the outside temperature, climate changes, and here the dark-winged moth survived. Okay, dark-winged moth survived. Now same thing happened again, okay, in this case, okay, in this case, students, all of you know, the branches are not that dark also, sometimes it can be like, so here this is the trees, okay, these were the trees. Now this is when pollution started increasing. Okay, when pollution started increasing, remember that here the lichens, okay, these are the lichens. These are the lichens. So students, lichens are an indication for pollution. In a place where lichens are not present, okay, in a place where lichens are not present, just give me a minute. Okay, yes. Okay, so students, lichens are an indicators, okay, lichens are indicators of pollution, okay, lichens are indicators of pollution. Got it, all of you? Okay. So they are indicators of pollution, and no doubt in this, these people, if their pollution is more, okay, if pollution is more, then lichens will not be present, okay, will not be present. Okay, lichens will not be present. So these people indicated. So this was also a kind of natural selection where the lichens also understood that okay, I cannot be present here because I am an association. So all of you know lichens are an association with fungi and algae. Okay, so the white spots that I've drawn are the fungi, and in the middle region you will be able to see the green color spots. Okay, you'll be able to see the green color spots that indicates that fungi and algae are in a symbiotic relationship. Now this symbiotic relationship is going to help both the organism. One is going to give the food, one is going to give the shelter. Okay, one is going to give the food and one is going to give the shelter. Now all of you should remember that these people, as they indicate the pollution, they they will not be present in a place where pollution is a lot. Okay, where the pollution is going to be a lot. Chalo, now let's go further. See, this understanding is supported by the fact that in areas where industrialization did not occur, that is in rural areas, the count of melanic moths were low. That means the dark-winged moths were not present in the rural areas where there were not much of pollution. This showed that in mixed population, those can better adapt, survive, and increase in population numbers. Remember that there is no variant is completely wiped out. That also you have to understand. Okay, just because white-winged moths are less. Okay, just because white-winged moths became less, or dark-winged moths became less. Okay, dark-winged moths became less. It does not mean the species did not exist anymore, just that their number has been reduced. Similarly, excess use of herbicide, pesticide has only resulted in selection of resistant varieties. In much lesser time, okay, much lesser scale. Now students, all of you know, normally if you put hit, okay, on a cockroach, before. Okay, this is the cockroach. If you normally put hit on this cockroach used to die. But now you put any kind of hit, they will not die. Why? Because this cockroach, they have, in the next generation, they have made pest resistant varieties. Okay, pesticide resistant varieties. So this resistant varieties also are a way of natural selection, is what believed in evolution, that since we are using these things, okay, since we are using these things, they got resistant to it. Correct, no? Now imagine you at a very young age, you got a lot of hittings from your mom or dad. Okay, after one point, okay, you will not feel any, like, you will not be scared of the fact that you're going to get hittings. Why? Because of the fact that you have got a lot of hittings. Okay, this is a very simple, okay, example, but just imagine, like, you continuously keep hitting, putting put hit on the cockroach. At one point, the cockroach is going to form, the next generation that is going to come is automatically going to be resistant to this chemicals. Okay, so same thing is going to happen. So this is also a kind of natural selection, that organism selects. Okay, this is also true for microbes against which we employ antibiotics or drugs against eukaryotic organisms. Now, hence, resistant organisms or cells are appearing in time scale of months or years and not centuries. So, if there was a change in humans, let's say example, in humans there is a change, it is going to take a lot of time. Okay, it is going to take a lot of time, but if it is in a case of a smaller organism, it is going to take only few days, months, let's assume months, okay, or years. Understood? Months or years. These are the examples of evolution by anthropogenic actions. This also tells us that evolution is not direct. Okay, this is because of human made activities. Okay, human made activities means because we do something, okay, because we do something, they start, continuing it. One second, students. Yes. So this is the thing. Okay, these are the examples of evolution by anthropogenic activities. Means what? That means because of our man-made activities. Okay, because of man-made activities, this let's say organisms have got developed to resistant varieties, and these resistant varieties are going to be naturally selected by nature, because the nature will be like, okay, you are able to survive this situation, then don't worry, I am going to select you over and over again. Do you understand? Okay, I'm going to select you over and over again because you are able to withstand this condition. But how did this withstanding condition happen? It is because of human made activities. Okay, it is because of human made activities. Perfect. Clear? Okay, done? Yes. Now students, here you do not have to write anything, as I already mentioned. Okay, now what is adaptive radiation? So during this journey, Darwin went to Galapagos Island. Okay, there he observed an amazing diversity of creatures of particular interest. Small blackbirds, later called as Darwin's finches. So students, he went to, let's say this is Galapagos Island, he noticed small finches, okay, with small beaks. Then he really got amazed by the fact that he realized that there were many varieties of finches in the same island. Now, how is that possible? All the varieties he conjured evolved on the island itself. Okay, from the original seed-eating features, many other forms where altered beaks arose, enabling them to become insectivorous and vegetarian finches. This process of evolution of different species in given geographic area, starting from a point and literally radiating to other areas of the geographic habitat, it's called as adaptive radiation. So what he is trying to tell here, students, so I have a throat pain, okay, so that's why I'm taking strepsils in middle, otherwise there'll be crack voice. Okay, so that's why just excuse this. If I don't take the strepsils, then I cannot really talk for this long. So this were finches. Okay, this was the Galapagos icon. This people, did adaptive radiation. That means, imagine, students, one species is there with which are actually seed eating. One species is there which are seed eating. Okay, one species is there which is seed eating, and they migrated to all the places, and they became different. Okay, different categories. Like one became insectivorous. Okay, one started feeding on insect, one started feeding on had long beaks. Okay, one has short beaks, one started feeding on some plants or seeds. Okay, so etc. So, and it was shocking to him that they were all present in the same island, and they moved to different areas, and that did adaptive radiation. So adaptive radiation definition means what, students? Here, the process, see, this process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point. Okay, starting from a point and literally radiating. Okay, starting from a point and literally radiating, and they radiate and they modify themselves to get adjusted to that habitat. Okay, that is important. Now, Darwin's finches represent one of the best examples of this phenomena. So it was called Darwin's finches, even though it was Galapagos, when he found it in Galapagos. Another example is Australian marsupials. A number of marsupials, each from different or from other, evolved from an ancestral stock, but all within the Australian island continent. When more than one adaptive radiation appeared to have occurred in an isolated geographic area. So look here, students, you might have to learn this by heart. Okay, marsupials. Okay, your normal marsupials, they have got, become all of this. How? One person who moved to one side became kangaroos, one became wombat, one became bandicoot, koala, marsupial mole, sugar gliders, Tasmanian wolf, tiger, cat, banded anteaters, marsupial rat. So I think all of you know Australia is a place that has a extreme wildlife. Okay, Australia is a place with high amount of wildlife, where I have even heard stories. Okay, I don't know how much of it is true. Okay, so there was a person who used to visit Australia regularly, and he's an Indian. Okay, and when he used to go there, people used to there used to be an island. Okay, and people, like, he used to ask every time, like, what is happening in that island, I want to really go there, and all of that. People used to tell that, since the wildlife is so vast in Australia, they actually take animals and go there and kill them in that island. But these were all, I think, maybe true, because this person who spoke about this actually went to that island and he saw a few skeletons. Okay, so people are telling that the wildlife is so extreme mainly because of the reason that they do not have a terrestrial landmark to get spread. So whatever wildlife is there in Australia will be always in Australia. They do not have a option of spreading to different places like how other animals have, because of the fact that they did not have a land route. So since they do not have a land route, students, what is going to happen to get adapted to the situation? They will definitely, in the same continent, they're going to go to different places. And when they go to different places, what is going to happen? They are going to get adapted to that situation, and this is called as adaptive radiation. So same way, marsupial radiation is where you can see so many varieties. Tasmanian wolf, tiger, cat, anteaters, rat, kangaroos, wombat, and so many different varieties. But try to understand, they were all at the same place, like same, let's say, natural habitat. From there, they have just migrated here and there. Like how I would go to, let's say, in Bangalore, let's say I went to Whitefield. I'm the same person. I am in Bangalore, but I have gone to Whitefield. And since I went to Whitefield, I have started getting adapted to the situations there. Got it? So that has made me change as a person. So marsupial radiation is something like that. See, one can call this convergent evolution. Convergent means what? See, all of them, even though they have come, okay, for different let's say, all of them are made from the same like how finches were, all of it was started from seed eating, but they all went to a common point, right? All of them came to a common point, even though all of them were same from the same, let's say, or from the different categories, they all went to a same common point. Okay, so it is a convergent evolution. Placental mammals in Australia also exhibit adaptive radiation in evolving into varieties of such placental mammals, each of which appear to be similar to the corresponding marsupials. So students, placental mammals are the ones who have placenta, obviously. So if you see placental mammals and the marsupials, you notice that they are the same. See, mole, anteater, mouse, spotted cuscus, squirrel, bobcat, tiger cat, wolf, same thing. So here what has happened? Convergent evolution. Even though one is placental and one is marsupial, both has reached to a same point. Okay, both has reached to a same point. So you just have to know adaptive radiation definition. You do not have to break your head for anything else. Okay. Now, biological evidence. Evolution by natural selection in full true sense would have started when cellular forms of life with differences in metabolic abilities originated on Earth. The essence of Darwin's theory about evolution is natural selection. We already discussed. The rate of appearance of new forms is linked to the life cycle or the lifespan. Microbes that divide fast have the ability to multiply and become millions of individuals within hours. Okay, a colony of bacteria growing on a given medium has built-in variation in terms of ability to utilize a feed component. A change in the medium composition would bring out only that part of the population that can survive a new condition. What they're trying to say, I'll tell you. This is a Petri plate. This is another Petri plate. Now students, I have already added the components. Okay, I've already added the components and I have added the bacteria has started growing. Now obviously they'll all grow consuming whatever I have given. Now I add something else. Okay, I will change the composition of the medium. Now what is going to happen? I am going to get a different population. Okay, who can survive in this different composition? Yes or no? So let's say this is group A. I am going to get group B out of the second composition I made. Understood? New condition. So let's say this was the initial condition. Okay, this was the initial condition which was favorable for them, and second I put a different condition. Okay, this was the second condition which might not be very favorable for them. What is going to happen then? This, whoever is going to survive in this is going to be my new population. Okay, that's what they did. Okay, here there was place. We can take another example also. Let's say there are this ladybirds. Okay, ladybirds. They don't look like that, but yeah, ladybirds are there. Now so they're on a bush. Let's say due to some situation, this rock or this bush broke. Okay, this got broke or damaged. Okay, damaged. Now what is going to happen? This was, let's say this is the whole thing as my population A. Now after due to this problem, only option B, a new population of option B I'm going to get, which might be a mix. So like this is the condition that was affected, or let's say it's a natural calamity also. Okay, it could be a natural calamity as well. After the natural calamity, the whatever species I'm going to get is going to be my new set of species. Okay, understood? Now, a change in medium composition. Okay, a change in medium composition would bring out only that part of the population that can survive under the new condition. In due course of time, this variant population outgrows the other and appears as the new species. Understood? So the new species of ladybird I got, maybe the yellow and the green were less or more. They will start outgrowing to form a new species. Okay, this would happen within days. So the same thing to happen in a fish or a fowl would take millions of years span of these animals' life. So depending on how complex these organism is, this is going to vary, students. The time period is going to vary. Now let's say some modification has been happened in our body. One gene is changed, or let's say one single nucleotide polymorphism happened. It to continue generation over generation, or let's say this small modification has cured us from cancer. Okay, now if this change has to continue, it is going to take at least millions of years to continue or to happen in another person. Yes or no? Because we are very complex organisms. In us, it is not possible to do a change that is like, just like, oh, I changed, I put DDT on you, so the next generation is going to be, resistant. That cannot happen in us. Yes or no? That cannot happen in us. It will take lot of years for this to happen in us. Okay. Yeah. So here what they're trying to say, can we say that because B survived and A could not survive, B is more fittest, but they're telling that fittest character is something that should be inherited. Okay, fittest character should be inherited, because understand that on genetic basis. Okay, there must be a genetic basis for getting selected and to evolve. Another way of saying the same thing is that some organisms are better adapted to survive in an otherwise hostile environment. Adaptive ability is inherited. It has a genetic basis. Fitness is the end result of ability to adapt and get selected by nature. True, no, students? If cockroach has to be selected, or let's say the offsprings of cockroach has to be selected. Now for that selection to happen, okay, the cockroach should have given that resistant gene to the next generation, or that, let's say, some secret that the cockroach had should have been given to the next generation. Otherwise the next generation is not going to be resistant. Okay, otherwise the next generation is not going to be resistant. Now when you think of it, if humans wouldn't have inherited things from their parents, be it the how we look, be it how we talk, or maybe not talk exactly, but be it many things that we do on a day-to-day activity, maybe it's been taken from our parents. Now this inherited character is actually helping us to survive in the current situation. Agreed or not? So this is also true to one scale, that okay, if I want to survive, it has to be inherited inside me. Definitely at one point I'm going to get this acquired inheritance, but there should be something called as innate. No, I have taught you immunity, innate immunity. No, so that innate immunity I need. Okay, that innate immunity I need, where I am able to survive to the situation. Now skin is a barrier. Now we did not wait after being born, after many years, that okay, skin will come, then I'm going to get this, I'm going to get cured of any diseases or dust or anything. It did not happen like that. Skin was already present, skin was already there, it was already formed, and it was doing the job of protecting us. So like that, there should be some characteristics that has been inherited from the parents, so I will be able to survive, is what they are trying to say. Clear what they're trying to say? Now branching descent and natural selection are two key components of Darwinian theory of evolution. So students, this is very, very important. Okay, when you talk about Darwin theory, everyone remembers about natural selection, but people forget about branching descent. Okay, even before Darwin, a French naturalist, Lamarck, had said that evolution of life forms had occurred by driven by use and disuse. So here, what Lamarck told, no students, it was first law. Okay, Lamarck. Okay, Lamarckism. Lamarck told that there is a rule called use and disuse. Okay, there is a rule called use and disuse. Now, use and disuse, it's not just a theory which came with that. He's telling that what do I tell? See, if say there are two things, okay, let's say my right hand and left hand, okay, right hand, left hand. Now students, continuously if I keep using this hand, okay, continuously I keep using this hand is going to be the strongest. Okay, but if I don't use left hand that much, okay, then this hand is going to be weak automatically. That we all know, no? Now I'm writing with my right hand because I have been using my right hand from a very small age. If I was using my left hand, I would have made my left hand more stronger. So he's telling whatever we use, okay, okay, one second, yeah, whatever we use continuously and whatever we disuse, okay, whatever we disuse, whatever we use becomes our strong, okay, becomes strong, and whatever we disuse will become weak. True or not? Okay, true or not? So he told that use and disuse thing. Okay, second thing that he told was inheritance of acquired characters. That is, if let's say giraffe is the example all of you know, no? Giraffe, normally the first giraffe that was formed had the neck, okay, neck length was just like that of horse or zebra or other things, okay, same as horse or zebra, like normal neck. But as this giraffe, okay, you know what I'm drawing, this is a giraffe standing. Okay, like I cannot remember how a giraffe looks now. I'm trying to draw. Let's say this is a giraffe. So since giraffe at the starting was consuming all the plants, okay, was consuming plants, the giraffe neck was normal. But later they noticed that there were long trees and there was no grass left. So the giraffe started stretching its neck, and the neck got longer. Okay, the neck got longer. And he told that all of this happened, and because of which it was seen in the next generation as well, like that giraffe got long neck. Okay, so the next theory he told was inheritance of acquired character. Okay, inheritance of acquired character. Inheritance of acquired character. So if this acquired character had to come, okay, then there was another person called August Weismann. Okay, I don't know if they mentioned it here. Yeah, so giraffe, you can see here, he gave examples of giraffe who, in an attempt to forge, okay, the trees to eat, trees, leaves from the tall trees, had to adapt by elongation of their necks. As they passed on this acquired character of elongated neck to the succeeding generation, giraffes slowly over the years became long neck animals. Is evolution a process or a result of process? The word we see inanimate and animate is only a success story of evolution. So students, before going to the success story, let me tell you how this bubble was broken about the giraffe thing. There was another scientist called August, okay, August Weismann. He wanted to know that what this giraffe thing, that is inheritance of acquired characters, true or not, okay, true or not. So he took, obviously our only person who will be sacrificed every time, they took a mice, okay, they took a mice, and he noticed Okay, this is the mice. What happened, students? First, he chopped off the tail of this knife. Okay, I mean of the mouse. Okay, he chopped off the mouse tail. Then he left the mouse to form generations. Obviously, he noticed that the next generation that came also had tails. That means what? He understood that the next generation, okay, let's say this is the first generation. Okay, this is the second generation. He, even though he cut the tails, he noticed that in the second generation both the mouse had tail. Okay, mouse had tail. So he was confused. Wait a minute, if according to inheritance of acquired character, these people should not have tail, but in the next generation they had tail. That is when they understood that when you change the germ plasm, only when you change the germ plasm, okay, you change the germ plasm, will it actually become an acquired inheritance, or will change, okay, will change the features or the characteristics. That means you have to change the genetics. You have to change the genetics, not the somatic cells. By modifying the somatic cells, definitely it is not going to get carried away. You have to change the germ plasm or the genetics. You have to change the genetics for them to get carried away. So August Weismann told that when he did this whole research, he noticed that when he, even though he chopped off the tails in the first generation and let them have the kids or produce the kids, he noticed that the next generation all of them had tails. So how inheritance of acquired character should have seen, but no, he noticed that acquired character, or let's say change in a character, only happens when the germ plasm is changed, or the gamete is changed, or the genetics is changed for them to get carried away. Okay, genetics is changed for them to carried away. So here this is what we have to tell. Okay, this will get you an idea. Okay, this will get you an idea. So is evolution a process or a result of process is a question. The world we see, inanimate and animate, is only success story of evolution. When we describe the story, okay, when we describe the story of this world, we describe evolution as a process. On the other hand, when we describe the story of Earth, we treat evolution as a consequence of a process called natural selection. We are still not very clear whether to regard evolution and natural selection as a process or the end of a result unknown. Okay, some storytelling they've told to students. So look here. It is possible that the work of Thomas Malthus on population influenced Darwin as well as Alfred Wallace. Natural selection is based on a certain observation which are factual. Okay, facts. For example, natural resources are limited, but population are stable in size except for seasonal fluctuation. Members of population vary in characteristics. That is, in fact, no two individuals are alike. Even though they look superficially similar, most of the variations are inherited. Even in twins also, genetics is different. Okay, the fact that theoretical population size will grow exponentially if everybody produced maximally, this fact can be seen in growing bacterial population. And the fact that population size in reality are limited means that there have been competition for resources. Only some survived and grew at the cost of others that could not be flourished. The novelty and the brilliant insight of Darwin was this: he asserted that variation which are heritable and which make resource utilization better for few. Hence, for a period of time over many generations, survivors will leave more progeny and there would be a change in the population characteristics, and hence new forms will be arising. So all that is just actually like what to tell, storytelling. Okay, storytelling. Now, mechanism of evolution. What is the origin of variation? How does speciation occur? Even though Mendel had talked of inheritable factors, remember in principles of inheritance you would have learned the word factors. Factors are actually a terminology which is given for genes. Okay, which were given for genes. Now, Darwin neither ignored these observations or kept silent. In the first decade of okay, In the first decade of 20th century, Hugo de Veris, okay, very important, Hugo de Veris, based on the work on evening primrose, brought forth the idea of mutation. Okay, brought forth the idea of mutation. Large differences arising suddenly in a population. He believed that it is mutation that causes evolution and not minor variation or heritable that Darwin spoke about. So mutation are random, very important students. This is mutations are random and directionless, while Darwinian variations are small and directional. So according to Darwin, he kept telling variation, 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 no, but he did not know from where did exactly variation come from. So according to Hugo de Veris, so according to Darwin students, variation happened. He kept telling no, natural selection is because of variation. So he did not know from where this variation happened. So then Hugo de Veris, a scientist called Hugo de Veris, okay, he was the person who told that variation, okay, variation happens because of mutation. Okay, happens because of mutation. Now mutation, he told, is random, okay, sudden and directionless. Okay, and directionless. This is what was according to him. Now when he learned that okay, mutation could happen, he told that mutation is slow, okay, directional and not sudden. Okay, slow, no, so obviously not sudden. Okay, it was not random, not sudden. This was his variation, but according to Hugo de Veris, he told that this is what happened. Then he told something called as saltation. Okay, saltation. Saltation actually you study in neurons also. Saltation means students from one point to another point when you jump. Okay, now this happens in neuron also. In myelinated neurons, what happened? This is the myelin sheath. Okay, these are the myelin sheath. Now wherever the myelin sheath is not there, here to here, okay, nodes of Ranvier will be there. Here like this, mutation will happen. That means saltation will happen. So a large mutation was called as saltation. Large mutation was called as saltation. Large mutation was called as saltation. Okay, this was what Darwin's and Hugo de Veris were to tell. Like argument we could say. Okay, it was like an argument. Why? I'll tell you, because Darwin told that variation happens, but he never told how variation happens. But Hugo de Veris told that variation happens and the variation is totally by mutation. Okay, so this confusion continued. And there were some weak points of Darwin. Okay, the weak points of Darwin was variation wasn't explained. Again, as I told you, variation was not explained. Then transmission, how this was getting transformed, that is mode of transmission, that was not mentioned. Then smaller the lifespan of the organism, faster will be the variation. But larger the life, like larger the organism, it will take millions of years for variation to happen. Agreed or not? Like I told you, in humans, let's say a gene, okay, a mutation has happened, it will not go to the next generation immediately. It will take millions of years for that change to happen. So complex organisms, speciation takes up to millions of years. This was also not mentioned very clearly by Darwin. Okay, for bacteria also it is like bacteria is very small. Okay, if now say they are antibiotic resistant, the next generation that is going to be formed is also going to be antibiotic resistant, because these people are going to multiply at that scale. Understood? So this was some of the weak points of Darwin that other people discussed. Other people were like Hugo de Veris or other people told that these are the weak points of Darwin, which does not give us a clarity on how exactly evolution happened or what exactly happened in evolution. Understood? So then Hugo de Veris came up with mutation theory. He worked on evening primrose, which you also can call it as Onatera lamarckiana. Okay, it's very funny that it's lamarckiana. Okay, so he told that mutation is actually large. It's a sudden, random, directionless change. Okay, Darwin's variation was gradual, small, directional. Hugo de Veris was fast, okay, sudden, large, and directional. Got it? Yes or no? So this was the thing. Now, yeah. Now students, it was fast, sudden and directionless. Single step mutation. That means one large mutation happens. That large mutation is called as saltation. Okay, large mutation is called as saltation. Clear? Industrial mechanism also we did. So weak point of Darwin you should know. Okay, even though Darwin's natural selection is very famous and it speaks about, you know, branching descent as well as your natural selection, it is important for you to remember what were the weak points of Darwin for you to understand the further, you know, understanding of the chapter. Now before we go to Hardy-Weinberg principle, we will take a small break. Okay, see you guys back. Then we'll do Hardy-Weinberg. Hello students, I'm back. Okay. So yes, let's continue. So now we are going to do one of the most important topics of this chapter, Hardy-Weinberg principle. So in a given population, one can find out the frequency of the occurrence of alleles of a gene or locus. This frequency is supposed to remain fixed and even remain the same through the generations. Hardy-Weinberg principle stated it using algebraic equations. This principle says that allele frequency in a population are stable and constant and is constant from generation to generation. The gene pool, total genes and their alleles in a population remain constant. This is called as genetic equilibrium. So what they're trying to say is this principle, okay, this allelic frequency in a population is going to be stable and it is going to be constant from generations to generations. The gene pool, okay, the gene pool or the total genes in their allele in the population remains constant. This is called as gene equilibrium. Equilibrium means what, students? A state of balance. Okay, a state of balance. Now all this you do not have to take attention into. Other things I'll tell you what are the main portions that you need to remember. Sum total of all allelic frequency is 1. Okay, now see here. For example, can we name it as P, Q, etc. In a diploid, P and Q represents the frequency of allele A and small a. That means what? One dominant allele, okay, which is going to be A, and one recessive allele, okay, one recessive allele that is going to be small a. So we can call this as P and we can call this as Q, right? Small p, small q. Now we will get a heterogeneous mixture. That means combination of these two. Okay, combination which is going to be a heterozygous combination. What is going to be heterozygous? That is going to be 2pq. 2pq. So there is a formula created called as p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. Okay, this is also you have to keep in mind. Okay, so in a diploid, P and Q represents the allele A and small a. The frequency of A individual in a population can be simply written as P square. This is simply stated in other ways. That is, probability that an allele A with frequency of P appear on both the chromosomes of a diploid individual is simply the product of probabilities. P square similarly of AA is going to be Q square and AA is going to be 2PQ. Hence, the formula P square plus 2PQ plus Q square. This is a binomial expression of P plus Q square. When frequencies measured differ from expected values, the difference indicate the extent of evolutionary distance. All this is not required, students. You do not have to know so much also. Now, this is more important. 5 factors are known to affect Hardy-Weinberg principle. So let me tell you that Hardy-Weinberg principle is an ideal situation. All of you would have heard this ideal situation word in chemistry. So when we are doing a reaction, there is an ideal situation. That is, this might happen, right? This might happen. So this is also an ideal situation where Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is calculated without mutation. Without mutation. Understood? Without mutation. Now, these are gene migrations or gene flow. Okay, gene migrations or gene flow, genetic drift, mutation, and genetic recombination and natural selection. So, what are the factors that affect Hardy-Weinberg, equation? Gene migration or gene flow. That means a new population comes in that will change the Hardy-Weinberg principle. Second thing, genetic drift. Because of any reason, if there is a drift in the species, okay, or a population has changed, that will cause mutation. Okay, mutation. Genetic recombination. Okay, different combinations, recombination happen that can change natural selection. These are the 5 factors that can affect Hardy-Weinberg principle. So from this, all of you can understand one thing, that if mutation is not happening, that means it's a very ideal situation. No, if mutation is not happening, it's a total ideal situation. So when migration of a section of population to another place and population occurs, gene frequencies are added to the new population and these are lost from the old population. So imagine, let's say here we had these people, okay, these purple color people, okay, due to some reason, these people migrated to a population where there were these people. Okay, where there were these people. Now, since these people migrated and they joined this population, okay, here it became a new gene frequency. Yes or no? New gene frequency, and here the frequency changed. Okay, this frequency is missing from the old population. That's what they're trying to say. Now happens, see, there would be a gene flow if a gene migration happens multiple times. If the same change occurs by chance, it is called as genetic drift. Okay, I told you, no, genetic drift. Sometimes the change in the allelic frequency is so different in new samples of population that they become a different species by itself. The originally drifted population becomes founders, and the effect is called as founders effect. Effect is called as founders effect. So here there are few things that you have to know very precisely about your, what is that, Hardy-Weinberg principle. Okay, first thing is the assumption that is made, that is Hardy-Weinberg is an ideal situation. Okay, after this I'll teach you the graph. Is an ideal situation. Why am I telling ideal situation? Because here evolution is not happening. Okay, evolution is not happening. So 5 factors, okay, 5 factors affecting this principle is nothing but your genetic drift. Okay, genetic drift, genetic recombination. Okay, genetic recombination. Okay, genetic recombination, gene pool. Okay, mutation. Okay, evolution or mutation. Yes, natural selection, and your gene migration. Okay, gene migration. These are the things that are happening. Okay, now according to Hardy-Weinberg principle, we have p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. This is the formula that we have. Now students, try to understand that this is in an ideal situation, and the moment a mutation happens, and you know mutation has to happen for evolution to happen. Yes or no? Mutation should happen for evolution to happen. So the moment evolution happens, this whole principle is going to change. Okay, this whole principle is going to change. Understood? Whole thing is going to change. Now, one more thing that you have to understand is there is something called as the founders effect. Now, founders effect is nothing but, okay, founders effect is nothing but, let's say, okay, let's say here this is one population, this is another population. Okay, now from this population, okay, I am just going to draw some dots. These are peoples. Okay, people or genetics. Okay, some genes. Now these are 2 sets of genes that are there. Now what happened? Some of them, okay, one more color, let's say, I think blue is not very evident. No, I put orange. Orange is there. Okay, let's say one set of people, okay, one set of population migrated. This set of population migrated to this one. Okay, so this becomes the founders. Okay, and these people who have migrated, okay, these people who migrated, okay, they become the new population. They become the new population. Who are they? Orange and pink. Okay, orange and pink starts up a new population by itself. This becomes the new population. So the ones from where they migrated, they become the founder, and this is called as founders effect. Okay, this is clear. Now let's do a small Kuti equation, okay, to make you understand how this works. Let's say, students, the recessive gene, okay, recessive gene is equal to 0.3. Okay, so that means Q is equal to 0.3. Now how are you going to find P? How are you going to find the equation? So you know P plus Q. Always remember this. P plus Q is equal to 1. Okay, so P plus 0.3 is equal to 1, or P is equal to 1 minus 0.3, that is going to be 0.7. Yes or no? If you want, we will recheck. Okay, we should always recheck maths. Never believe in maths, or never believe in me. Okay, 0.3, 0.7. Now, if I have to find the whole equation, I can do P square plus 2PQ plus Q square, right? I can do this. Now for that, I'll have to find what is P square. I'll have to find what is Q square. Now P square is going to be 0.7 into 0.7, that is going to be 0.49. Okay, Q square is going to be 0.3 into 0.3, 0.9 obviously. Is 0.3 into 0.3, it's going to be 0.09. Now how do you find 2PQ? 2 into 0.7 into 0.3, that is going to be 4 3s are 21, 21 2s are 0.42. Okay, but still we will cross check. Yeah, I don't trust my maths at all. Yes, 0.42. So if I have to find the total value here, how much it is going to be? 0.49 plus 0.42 plus 0.09. Okay, 0.49. Usually you don't have to find this. Okay, 0.42, we are just doing it for fun. 9 is equal to 1. Understood? So we got a value as 1. So this is how the equation works. So with just this one value, you will be able to find the whole value. Okay, this is how your Hardy-Weinberg principle works. Now students, there's a graph that you need to know. Okay, this is the graph that you need to know. Okay, now imagine, let's take three phenotypes. Okay, three phenotypes. Three phenotypes are going to be short people. Okay, short height wise we are talking. Okay, short, medium height, okay, and extremely tall. Okay, and extremely tall people. Now there are three graphs. Depending on which phenotype that you're going to select, you are going to get different types of graph. Now imagine the population or the natural selection has selected medium type of people. Then you're going to get a graph which is continuously going to get narrower towards the center. This is going to be called as your stabilizing graph. Okay, stabilizing graph. Why this is called the stabilizing graph? Because we have chosen medium-sized people who are in the middle. So in the middle, the graph is going to get peak. More medium-sized people are going to come, and it is going to get narrower. So this is called as a stabilizing graph. Now imagine I select any of one peak. Okay, let's say I select the short people. Okay, I select the short people. Okay, then I am going to get a directional graph. Why am I going to get a directional graph? Because it is going to move in one direction. I selected only the short people. So it is going to move only in one direction. One extremity I have chosen. So if I am choosing one extremity, it is going to move in that extremity. Now imagine I chose, okay, here I chose both short and tall. So students, here you can choose one extremity. Okay. Extremity means any one, like two poles we tell. Either one extremity means tall or short. Here we are choosing medium sized people. Okay, medium sized people. This is one extremity. Now directional means it's going to go in one direction. Now here I'm going to choose two extremities. That means I am going to choose short and tall. I'm not going to choose the middle. This is going to give me a disruptive graph. What graph? Disruptive graph. Clear or not? It's going to give me a disruptive graph. That means both the peaks are high. Can you see? Two peaks. This is one peak. This is one peak. So one short, one tall. Okay, here anything short or tall. Okay, here medium. Okay, here medium. So this is the graph that you have to remember. Okay, this is the graph that you have to remember, which is a continuation of your Hardy-Weinberg, but it is more related to your natural selection actually. Okay, more related to your natural selection. Okay, now students, brief account on evolution. Okay, brief account on evolution. Throat pain is extreme actually. Throat pain. So we already knew, okay, that around 2 million years ago, okay, we knew around 2 billion years ago was the first cellular form of life appeared. The mechanism of how non-cellular aggregates of giant macromolecules could revolve into cells with membranous envelope is not known. Some of these cells have the ability to release oxygen. The reaction could have been similar to light reaction and photosynthesis, where water is split with the help of solar energy. Okay, with UV rays, we split water, no? Captured and channelized by appropriate light harvesting pigments. Slowly, single-celled organisms became multicellular forms. By the time 500 million years ago, invertebrates were formed and they were active. Jawless fishes probably evolved around 350 million years ago. So some dates that you have to remember. Okay, some dates you have to remember. What are those dates? Okay, I have written it here in cap actually. So here, invertebrates. I'll write it in a new sheet actually. Invertebrates 500 million years ago. Jawless fishes. Okay, jawless fishes. It's going to be 350. Seaweeds and few plants exhibited probably around 320 million years ago. 1 second, students. Seaweeds, few plant existed probably around 320 million years ago. We were told that the first organism that invaded land were plants, okay, and they were widespread on land when animals invaded land. Fish without stout and strong fins could move on land and go back to waters. This was about 350 million years ago. In 1932, a fish caught in South Africa happened to be coelacanth, which was thought to be extinct. These animals called lobe fins evolved into the first amphibians that lived on both land and water. There is no specimen of these left with us. However, these were the ancestors of modern day frogs and salamanders. The amphibians evolved into reptiles. They lay thick shelled eggs which do not dry up in sun, unlike those in the amphibians. Again, we only see their modern day descendants, the turtles, tortoises, and crocodiles. See, students, if you look here, early reptiles, they formed sauropsids and synapsids. This synapsids gave rise to plesiosaurs. Okay, this plesiosaurs later gave rise to therapsids. This therapsids were now believed to be our ancestors, and they gave rise to modern mammals. So this you just remember in your head. Okay, remember in your head. Okay, early reptiles, two categories. Okay, early reptiles gave two categories. Okay, one is called sauropsids. Okay, one is called synapsids. Okay, synapsids. Now, sauropsids, okay, let's keep that. Synapses gave rise to plesiosaurs. Okay. Yes. Synapses gave rise to plesiosaurs, and these plesiosaurs got extinct. Then from plesiosaurs, therapsids came. Okay. Therapsids came, and these therapsids also got extinct, students. But it is believed that therapsids gave rise to your mammals. Okay, modern mammals. Mammals, that is your modern day mammals. Got it? Now, sauropsids, okay, sauropsids, what is happening? Sauropsids, if you look at this, this is like that mouse and the cat, no, like that. Sauropsids gave rise to your thecodons. Thecodons got extinct, then from there they gave rise to your modern day reptiles, okay. Now this thecodons gave rise to, you can see here like this, gave rise to dinosaurs, and again, so otherwise your modern day reptiles, okay. So sauropsids gave rise to, first what did they give rise to? They gave rise to thecodons, okay. Thecodons, they got extinct, obviously. Then from thecodons they gave rise to dinosaurs, they also got extinct, and these are believed to be the gave rise to modern reptiles, okay, modern day reptiles. So these are talking about the ancestors, okay. Who is my ancestor? If you have a question, then these are your ancestors, okay. Modern day reptiles and thecodons and dinosaurs, okay. I hope it is visible. Chalo, this is clear, no? Now, okay, they laid egg and all of that. In next 2000 million years ago, reptiles or different shapes and size dominated on Earth. Giant ferns were there, okay, which were your pteridophytes were present, but they all fell to form the coal deposits slowly. Some of these land reptiles went back into water, into fish-like reptiles probably 200 million years ago, like your ichthyosauruses. The land reptiles were, of course, the dinosaurs. The biggest one was Tyrannosaurus rex, okay, was about 20 feet in height, students, 20 feet in height, okay, and had a huge, fearsome dagger-like teeth. About 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs suddenly disappeared from Earth, okay, and we do not know the true reason. Some people tell it is climatic, some people tell it is species, but who knows, okay. Now here I will just write all the dates. I think I've mentioned all the dates, just to see it. Okay. Okay, so you start from universe. Universe is around 20 billion years ago. Then you go to Earth. Earth is around 4.5 billion years ago. Okay, then you go to life. Life, that means first life, 4 billion years ago. Okay, from here you have to remember. Okay, now non-cellular. $3 billion years ago. First cellular, this is all first, okay. First cellular, 2 billion years ago, okay, 2 billion years ago. Then unicellular, photosynthetic, all that you don't want, no. Then invertebrates. First invertebrates were 500 million years ago. Got it? 500 million years ago. Then jawless fish was 350 million years ago. Okay, jawless fish was 350 million years ago, and in that you have to remember your coelacanth or coelacanth, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, this is believed to be also the ancestor of amphibians. Ancestor of amphibian. Okay, next one is plants. Plants are considered 320 million years ago. Okay, 320 million years ago. Then reptiles. This is also the first true land. Okay, first true land vertebrata was your 200 million years ago. Okay, and they used to lay eggs. They lay eggs. So these are the different things. Okay. Then Ichthyosaurus, water dwelling. Then Tyrannosaurus rex, that you can remember. Then dinosaurs disappeared. Okay. Dinosaurs disappeared 65 million years ago. Okay, dinosaurs disappeared 65 million years ago. So this is the brief account of evolution. This is origin. Okay, this is origin. Rest everything is, findings. Like different findings. Now first mammals were like shrews. Okay, the first mammals were like shrews, that is their fossils are small sized. Mammals were viviparous, protected their unborn young inside the mother's body. Mammals were more intelligent. Okay, mammals were more intelligent in sensing and avoiding danger. At least when reptiles came down, mammals took over this earth. All this is belief. Okay, they were in South America, mammals resembling horse, hippopotamus, bear, and rabbit due to the continental drift. Okay, when South America joined North America, these animals were overridden by the North American fauna. Due to the same continental drift, pouched mammals of Australia survived because of lack of competition from other mammals. This is also a reason for them to do sorry students, this is also their reason to do adaptive radiation. Okay, least we forgot some mammals live wholly in water. Whales, dolphins, seals, sea cows are some examples. Evolution of horse, elephant, dogs, etc. are special stories of evolution. You will learn it in your higher classes. Okay, now origin of man, very important, and almost coming to an end of this chapter as well. Okay, now origin and evolution of man. About 15 million years ago, primates called Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus were existing. Okay, who was existing? Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. This Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus, they were hairy, walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. This is why we tease and tell, no, oh my god, my ancestor was like a gorilla. Okay, this one. They were hairy and they used to walk like gorillas and chimpanzees. Ramapithecus was more man-like. So Dryopithecus was the most ape-like, but Dramapithecus was little man-like and Dryopithecus was more ape-like. Understood? So few fossils of man-like bones have been discovered in Ethiopia and Tanzania. These revealed hominid features, leading to the belief that about 3 to 4 million ago, man-like primates walked in Eastern Africa. They were probably not taller than 4 feet, but walked upright. 2 million years old, Australopithecus, okay, Australopithecus, yes, probably lived in Eastern African grasslands. Evidence show that they hunted with stone weapons but essentially ate fruits. Some of the bones among the bones discovered were different. This creature was also called as the first human-like being hominid and was called Homo habilis. The brain capacities were 650 to 800 cc. They probably did not eat meat. Fossils discovered in Java in 1891 revealed the next stage, Homo erectus. Okay, about 1.5 billion years ago. Homo erectus had a large brain of around 900 cc. So here you can see they were more ape-like. Obviously, face features, if you see, like that much difference is not there, but they were able to have an erect body. Okay, they were able to have an erect body. So now students, one more question is there, but yeah, first. Drahen. So you have to start from Dryopithecus. Ramapithecus. Australopithecus. Australopithecus. Homo habilis. Homo erectus, Neanderthal man. Okay, these were the different types of man evolution. Okay, now in that, Dryopithecus was more ape-like. Okay, more ape-like. Ramapithecus onwards were more man-like. Okay, man-like. And when were they found? Almost 65 million years ago. Okay, they were found 15 million years ago. Primates called Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus were existing. They were hairy and walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. Ramapithecus was more man-like. Maybe the facial features looked the same, but they were able to walk erect. Not fully erect, students, hands were like this. Okay, then Dryopithecus was more ape-like. Few fossils of man-like bones have been discovered in Ethiopia and Tanzania. These revealed hominid features, leading to the belief that about 3 to 4 million years ago, man-like primates walked in eastern Africa. They were probably 4 feet and they were walking upright. 2 million years old, you understood Australopithecus were there, who were found in East African grasslands. Evidence show that they hunted with stone weapons, but especially they were eating fruits. So that means more of vegetarians. Okay, some of the bones among the bones discovered were different. This creature was found to be the first human-like and was called Homo habilis. So Homo habilis was the most human-like creature. Brain capacity was 650 to 800 cc. They probably did not eat meat. Okay. Fossil discovered later in Java in 1891. They discovered the next stage, that is Homo erectus, about 1.5 million years old. Okay. Homo erectus had a brain of 900 cc. So from here, what do you understand? These two people, okay, who is that? Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. These people were found 15 million years ago. Okay. Then Australopithecus were around 3 to 4 million years ago. Again, these were also hunting and they were also veg. Okay, they were also eating fruits and other things. And this were called the first human-like. Okay, man-like. Sorry, first man-like. Okay, this was found around 1.5 million years ago. Okay, this is around 2 million years ago. This was found in Java in 1891. Okay, yeah, right, 1891. Then these people's brain capacity is also given, my friends. Here, Homo habilis 650 to 800 cc. Okay, here it improved 900 cc. And then Neanderthal man was the ones who started, covering. So Homo erectus probably ate meat. Okay, so those two people were not eating meat. Who? Australopithecus and your habilis wasn't eating, but Homo erectus was starting to eat meat. Neanderthal man, their brain size was around 1400 cc, lived in the Near East and Central Asia between like 1 lakh to 40,000 years back. Okay, in the near past, they used to hide to protect their bodies and used to bury the dead. So that's when they understood that there was some cultural importance. Okay, then came Homo sapiens that arose in Africa and moved across the continents and developed into different races. So during the Ice Age, that is between 75,000 to 10,000 years ago, modern Homo sapiens arose. Prehistoric caves and arts were there, which were indicating all of this, which is not very required for you. Here, Neanderthal man, what do you know? These people were covering themselves. Okay, and they had around 1400 cc. They were seen during the 1 lakh to 40,000 years old. Okay, years back. Do I write it differently, students? Tell me. Okay. Okay, Drahan, you leave. So okay. 15 million years ago, they were hairy, okay, and more ape-like. That means their walking also was ape-like. Then you have next one, that is Ramapithecus. I'm just writing what you have to remember. This is also 15 million years ago. and these people were more man-like these people were. Then next came Australopithecus. This was around 2 million years, no, 4 to 3 to 4. Okay, 3 to 4 million years ago. Okay, this was 3 to 4 million years ago. These used to hunt with stones and used to consume, okay, fruits. You please write Ethiopia, Tanzania, wherever possible, okay? Then the next one was H. Homo habilis. This was around 2 million years ago. Okay, this was the first man-like. All these are bones, okay, fossils. Man-like, okay. These were also not eating this one. They were also feeding on fruits, okay, fruits. Then came your Erectus. Okay, E for Homo erectus. Homo erectus, students, they were definitely man-like. They started eating meat. Okay, they ate meat eaters. Oh, here also write one more thing. Their brain capacity was 650 to 800 cc. Okay, here their brain capacity was 900 cc. Then came your Neanderthal man. Okay, N for okay, man. These people, this was in the near future. Okay, 1 lakh to 40,000. Okay, this was during 1.5 million years ago. 1 second, I'm writing that also. 1.5 million years ago. Okay, these people are okay, these people N. Then this was in 1 lakh. Okay, I'm writing like this to 40k. Okay, 40k years back. Short form I'm writing. Now they were covering their bodies. Okay, covering bodies, burying the dead. Okay, burying the dead. Okay, burying the dead, and they had a brain capacity of 1400 cc. So little cultural things they started seeing. Okay, last one was Homo sapiens, which is us. Okay, Homo sapiens. This Homo sapiens, here what is the date given? 75,000 to 10,000 years back. Okay, 75,000 to 10,000 years back. So these are Homo sapiens, that is us, who have more brain capacity, okay, and who is able to understand the culture and understand different things. Yes or no? Understand the culture and understand the different things. Okay, now we are done with evolution. Okay, I'll just check your NCERT as well if we missed something. This is students, placental mammals and that you have to remember. Okay, homologous we did, fossils. Okay, there are two words. Okay, I'll just tell those words. The word is missing link. Okay, missing link. Missing link means this is actually a connection. Okay, this is actually a connection between two things. Could be a reptile, okay, or birds. Okay, It's actually connecting a link between two things. But why are we calling missing link? Because it got extinct or it is no more there. Okay, it's a fossil. Since it became a fossil, we are calling it as a missing link. But when will I call it as a connecting link? Okay, I will tell a link between. That is better word to use. Okay, a link between reptiles. Okay, a link between two things. Two species, two classes. Okay, two classes. Okay, anything of that sort. We are calling it missing link because it got extinct or it is a fossil. When do I call it a connecting link? I'll call it a connecting link when it is still alive. Okay, it is still alive and it is a link between two things. It's a link between two things. I will call it connecting link. Okay, now here you can remember Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx. This is actually looks very similar to a reptile. Okay, they tell the face looks exactly like a dinosaur. Okay, and dinosaur is the one who gave rise to the modern reptiles. So reptiles and birds. This is a missing link. Periplaneta is actually a connecting link. Okay, but that is not given. I don't think it's given for you. Okay, so this is the whole thing. I hope this we did. Graph we did. Okay. Just checking if we missed something. Sorry. 1 second, students. I'll just in NCERT, one plant diagram is given, which you don't need to know actually. You usually don't teach that much in detail, but this page is very, very important. Okay, this page is very, very important. Don't forget this page. So I'll just open your NCERT. Just give me 1 minute. I'm opening it. Okay, 1 second. Yes, well, if you can see NCERT, no? So all this we have done. I've added as many paragraphs as possible. This is your analogous homologous paragraph. This is the graph, very important. Students, here the plants are given. Okay, plants are given. Now the thing with plants is it's more difficult because here a lot of periods are given, so usually questions do not come from this because again it's very difficult. See, ferns you might know. Okay, ferns you might know, or let's say seed ferns you might know, or ginkgos or angiosperm, dicotyledons, this you will know, but all these are too complicated, so that is not there for you. Okay, that is not, questions usually don't come from it. Let's also see your NCERT questions once. Okay, so here students, easy questions are there. Explain the abiotic resistance observed in bacteria in light of Darwin's selection theory. So here we already know that, as I told you, bacteria, when I added one composition, okay, when I added the first composition A, I got a population. Okay, that population is definitely the one that is surviving in the previous whatever. Okay, second time if I added an antibiotic resistant, then I'm going to get a B population. This is the one who is going to be resistant. Okay, resistant. So that is this. Okay, that's the example. You can just write about natural selection. First you go with natural selection definition, then you go with this. Okay, students, we'll do the questions in a minute. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, just give me 5 minutes. I'll be just back. Okay. Okay, resume in 5 minutes. I'll be back. Okay, there's an issue with my OBS. I'll just contact. Students, yes, it was a voltage difference. Okay, that is why my laptop was acting, so I got scared. So let's go back to this. I hope it's visible. First question is clear now? Just decreasing the brightness, okay? Find out from newspaper and popular science articles any new fossil discovered or controversies about evolution. Students, every day one article will be there. Right now, if I open Google, okay, right now if I open Google, I will be able to find a discovery where there is a fossil. Okay, now here somehow, usually every time at night when I'm reading the news, I'll always find a discovery. See, I told you. See, this is 1.5 billion years old fossil found in Sikkim, has connect with earliest life. So I told you, just open Google and you will immediately find. Now what are they telling? They're telling it's a kind of cyanobacteria that have been known and has been contributed significantly in the role of planet's atmosphere. So your early atmosphere and all of that, they have helped. Okay, so yes, there's some geopark village they want to build. 1.5 billion years old stromatolite fossil. Okay, it has been uncovered that this fossil is older than the comparable USA, Australia, Canada's one. It is groundbreaking. Okay, we cannot understand anything looking at the fossil, but people who study that, they will definitely understand. So I told you, just open and you will find it. Now attempt giving a clear definition of the term species. Again, this you can find it out. Species means what? A group of organisms, right? So a group of organisms who have a similar ancestor or have a similar anatomical character. So depending on that, you can write the species. Try to trace various components of human evolution: hint, brain size and function, skeletal structure, dietary preference. Various components of human evolution. Now whatever we saw, Drahen, that one's all of this is already given, so you can just find this and maybe proceed, find Homo habilis. More of this is like, what to tell, like project work. Find out through internet and popular science articles whether animals other than man has self-consciousness. List 10 modern day animals and using the internet resources. See, all of this is internet, okay? All of this is self. Practice drawing, okay, self. Describe one example of adaptive radiation you can remember about your marsupial. Okay, marsupials. This is one of the examples of adaptive radiation. And also Darwin's finches, but better than Darwin's finches is your marsupial and placental. Why? Because you know the names. Okay, can we call human evolution as adaptive radiation? It's doubtful, but yes, you can call it to one level because of the habitat that they stayed. They would have consumed food like that, or they would have behaved differently. So it can happen, but again, all of us do adaptive radiation actually, but to not a higher limit like how we saw in marsupials. Okay, now again, students, self-work. So this is full of self-work which you don't have to take anyone's help. You can just do it by yourself, but all of it is a project kind of a thing, which I wouldn't prefer all of you to do, but yeah, if you time permits, please try and do it. Okay, so yes, students, I hope all of you loved the session and understood evolution as well. Thank you so much for joining. Do not forget that Hardy-Weinberg is very important. Do practice questions on that, and I will see you in next class, and thank you so much for joining. See you all. Bye bye.